Hello there. In this video we're going to show you how you can make a tension setting ring with two rings in the circle, as you can see in the image there, and the prong mountings here are horizontal. If you did the previous video, the prongs were going up at an angle like that. Here they're more sort of in a kind of vertical direction. Here they're more horizontal. So let's start Fluid Designer. As usual, you need to go to the rings folder first of all, which is already highlighted, and we're going to use this twin ring object here, all UK sizes. I'm not going to change the default size, I'm going to leave it at that. But what I do need to do is I need to append a round gemstone so that we can work around and align this twin ring to it. So if we just go View and Top, if we go to File and Append and just go up through the menu system until you get to Groups, that will give you all the folders on your Fluid Designer system. And we're looking for gem shapes. And we're just going to stick to using a round gem, so we want the round file there. And as always, it's the object that we want, so it's the round gem object which we append from the library. Now it's in red at the moment, so it's not actually highlighted, so click on it until it goes to yellow on the outside there, and we'll notice the default size, it's the same for all gems, is that they are 10mm. So I'm just going to switch on screencast keys. So I'm going to press S on the keyboard to scale this down, and I'm going to type 0.5, and I'll just apply the scale, although it's not important because we're not going to print this gem, and it is a mesh as well. So that's now 5mm by 5mm, so it's a round gem, 5 by 5. So I'm just going to view from top, and I'm just going to move that up and position it where it's going to be. And now what we're going to do is we've got to adjust this ring so that it just touches on both sides. Well, first of all, we're probably going to have to cut off a little bit from each of these settings as they are at the moment, because it's a bit too long. So if we cut off the one at the left hand first of all, and remember when we go into edit mode it will be the one on the right. So if I just go over here and if I just click on that and press X to delete, doesn't look like I've deleted anything. Well, that's because there's two rings there, so I've deleted part of it. I've deleted one control point but not the other. So I'll select that end control point and delete that. Just view it from the top again, and if we just come out of edit mode, you can see that that's set back a little bit more than the other side now. That's looking better. So I need to do the same for the right hand side, so it'll be the left hand side when I go into edit mode. Now in order to select both control points at the same time, it's better to press the C key for circle command and highlight that, and that will in fact highlight the control point behind it as well. And if I press escape to come out of selection mode and X to delete, I've actually deleted two vertices there. Okay, so circle select will select the control point at the front and the one at the back. So that's looking a bit better now. Now what I want to do is I want to move this upwards so that it's more in line with the position of the edge of the gem there. So I want to move it in the Y direction. So let's just view it from the top. So I'm going to do the one on the left hand side first, which when we go into edit mode will be on the right. So remember, I need to do circle select here to select the control point at the front and the back, and then press escape to cancel that. Now I'm going to pull this object up, but I want to use the the proportional editing. That little circle that's there is the proportional editing. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll the left mouse button until it's just above the top of the ring that I've displaced there. Now notice that this is at an angle. Alright, but we're going to straighten that out in a second. So I've moved it up 2mm, but I've used proportional editing to pull up this part of the ring as well. Now if I press the tab key, You'll see what effect it's had. The proportional editing has dragged this bit up as well as the top. Now I need this to be square on to my gem, so I need to extrude it. So the point's still highlighted there, so I'm going to extrude it to here. Now when I do extrusion, it will straighten this up now. So E to extrude, and as I move it across, you can see now it's looking a little bit better. Now if I go back, press the tab key, you can see it's gone far too far into my gem now, so 1 millimeters was too much. So what I need to do is take off some of that extrusion. Now if we move it with the mouse, we're moving 1 millimeter, that's too much. So what we do need to use is this transform panel over here. Now the red arrow is the x-axis, so it's this value I want to change, 17 millimeters. That's 17 millimeters away from the origin here. So I want to move it back. And if I move it back to say 16, well, let me do it at 16.5 and then let's see where we are. So I've moved it halfway back, so if we press the tab key, now you can see we're still probably going a little bit too far into the gem. So I'll just move it back to 16.3. That's much better now. Okay, so that's how you can control the position of the end of that part of the shank that we dragged up using the values up here rather than dragging it and switching the snap off. That's a more precise way of controlling it. Now we need to do the same to the other side now. So if we press A to deselect those control points, and if we view it from the top, and if we just zoom in on this side, now remember we need to select the control point at the front and the back, so use C for circle select and highlight it. Now what do we need to do? We need to move up 2 millimeters, so start to move it up. Now notice the proportional editing is already there for me. Don't adjust it from the setting at the other side, it's better to have it the same on both sides. So that's moved it up. Now if we just press tab key and look here, so we've still got this gap, so we need to extrude it like we did on the other side. So when we press E to extrude, and if we extrude out, notice we now get it straight there, but that's taken it too far, so we need to come back a bit. So tab key again, so we want to move in this direction now. So we're at minus 29 millimeters, so it's minus 29 from there to there, so 28.9, so we're moving it to the right, so I'll move it to minus 28.5 first of all and just see where it is. No, we still need to go a bit further back, so I'll just move it a little bit lower, and we want the two sides to be even, so I'll go a bit more. Still not quite even, I think this side's overlapping a little bit more than the other. That's looking better to me. Okay, now you can of course fine-tune that and make any measurements that you want, but in principle that's what we want to do. Now again, I'm not actually going to use the Boolean to create the cutaway inside this ring shank. I'm going to assume that we're going to do that manually afterwards, after we've had the ring made. So yeah, there's our twin ring with a tension setting for a 5mm gemstone. Okay, so that's it for this video. Thank you. Oh, sorry, forgot to say that don't save it, always export it. Yeah, so we should always do that actually. Go to File and Export, a wavefront object, save it to the desktop. So this is a twin ring with a 5mm round gem, and export that OBJ file. So that's an alternative way of actually creating a tension ring setting with this twin ring setup. And I'll just let that save before I finish the video. I think I've just realised I've made a mistake as I've done this, because I've left the gem there when I've saved that. It's not a good idea. Well, definitely don't want the gem there actually when we export it, because that will actually 3D print. So I did make a mistake here. I do need to actually delete that gem and export this as an OBJ file again, and I'll just write it on top of that one. So forgot to delete the gem object. We only use the gem object to create the setting for the ring, the positioning of the ring at the top there, depending upon the gem size. We don't want to actually 3D print the gem. Okay, so I've just written on top of that file there. Okay, so there's your, that's the finish of this particular object. Alright, thank you very much.